that this ban actually risks making children less safe, argued it impinges on their rights, and repeatedly pointed to the questions around the tech that will be used to enforce the policy. Now, I wonder what a parent thinks. You as a parent, you think on this, you as a Ugandan, you think on this, especially when you have these conversations on children's rights. But indeed, I wonder if Robert will have something to say, and Joanne. But for now, good morning. This is Good Morning Uganda, and we come to you live from Kampala City, and the particular station is called Nile Avenue. The TV station is UBC TV, inspiring Uganda. Good morning, Joanne.
Good morning, Julie. A very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you.
You're
too.
well. How was your night?
It was well. And
Oh,
yours?
it was perfect. No.
Perfect.
Not really perfect. Yeah. Good morning to you, our viewers. Robert, I will forgive you for that, but it's okay. Just like Julie said, let me not mention what you just did. But I hope everyone had a very, very blessed night. You know, this, if you're awake and you're accompanying us this morning, it is evident that you've survived Monday, and now it's time to crash on Tuesday. You know, Tuesdays are days whereby it's time to focus on your goals. Since Monday, you're having the weekend blues, and now you're back onto the basics, and you're really figuring it out how you should go about your business. But there is a concern, Julie and Robert, about crash victims, especially on accident scenes. And now that we've noticed, ideally, bystanders rush to these scenes to help out on the victims who have been injured. And now medical experts do warn that offering water to accident victims is common, and it's an instinct someone would really just end up doing by reflex, since these patients or these victims always ask for water. But it could cause aspiration and also complicate emergency surgeries, and also worsen head injuries and trigger hypothermia, and also making it a risky act despite good intentions. Doctors now argue that most of the times this water is cold, and if it is about head injuries, people may be bleeding and they can get hypothermic, which can really trigger death, or also complicated surgery procedures. By the way, I read somewhere before actually this came up today that most of the time why they refuse people to give them water is because at times these people need emergency surgeries. Last time you had Dr. Okello here in Good Morning Extra Uganda, they're like those emergency procedures for accident victims. So when you give them water, remember some of these surgeries, they need you not to have eaten something or taken water some hours to the surgery. So bystanders, we should really refrain from giving accident victims water, though at times it may be called for, but it is the duty of the medical experts to really tell that this person can be given water.
Very interesting. Something you should take note of, especially this season. But above all else, stay safe on the roads. Where are you rushing to? Yeah, take off the speed. It's okay to be slow as long as you're safe and sound to where you are going. Robert, good morning.
A lovely morning to you, Judy.
Very well. It's a lovely morning indeed. A lovely morning to you.
Yes, a lovely morning to you.
Thank you. I like your shirt.
Well,
I hope there are others like that.
please don't walk that road. Now, to our viewers, thank you so much for waking up with us. When you talked about accident victims being given water, I thought, is that story for Uganda, the US, or developed countries? Because here, what I know when you're involved in an accident, the first thing is, but what can I use in English? In Uganda, okay, let me use the English word. The first thing they do is they check you to see what you have.
To steal from
To
you.
steal, I just want to look for a polite word. But the moment you're involved in an accident, the first thing is the first people who come on scene, they'll steal your phone, steal your money, do what? A few will save you. Now, away from that, I want to go to politics. We're in a political season, and yesterday the police spokesperson came out and condemned the actions that happened in Gulu when Robert Kyagulanyi was campaigning. You know, sometimes when such actions happen, for us as journalists, some of us we wait to see what will the police say.
And the EC.
and the EC. But me, so what will the police say when these incidents happen?
Right.
And at this point, I want to send regards to my brother and friend Enanga, because he gave us there was a time when he was the police spokesperson. He was very interesting when such things happened. But I want to commend Rushoke, who came out very boldly and said we condemn these incidents and we are investigating them. Because by the time a person gets these inkoni that are used to rear cows, and you use it to hit a fellow human being, sad enough, even the counterterrorism escorts attached to Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu were walloped seriously because they try to defend the principle that they are meant to protect. And some of these serious nkonis hit them thoroughly.
I saw one of them gave him his helmet to protect him from
because
any
they're supposed to protect the principle, the person they are guarding. But police coming out and condemning, that is good. Now wait to see what action is going to be taken.
Indeed, I do agree with you. The fact that these events took shape, they were undeniable. We saw them. So, and we saw the sad incidents.
And you know what is very annoying in this era of social media? I saw some young man who was spotted by cameras there. Now, I don't know how I landed on his TikTok page. And the man is there bragging and speaking everything funny. I'm like, fellow Ugandans, you should use social media properly.
Right.
You may put yourself in hot soup when you don't know.
Before you know it, you might be behind bars and beknownst to you in the name of likes and followings. Yes, and anyways, all of that, which is never worth it. Now, Robert, what do we have on the local scene?
No, definitely I have campaigns news.
Right, definitely. Take us away.
It is they're the stories of late. The NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni pledged to establish a military barracks in Kamwenge to dislodge any possible attack from the Allied Democratic Forces, ADF. Museveni made the pledge after a request by the NRM chairperson Kamwenge, Frank Tumwebaze, as he campaigned in the district yesterday. The NRM presidential candidate campaigned in Kamwenge and Chegegwa districts. In Kamwenge, Museveni addressed a rally at Chabanda Primary School playground in Kahunge Town Council. Museveni pledged to establish a military barracks in Kamwenge near Kibale Forest to consolidate security in the district. Museveni's pledge follows a request by the NRM district chairperson Frank Tumwebaze. Mr. Museveni encouraged Kamwenge residents to take irrigation serious so to tap from the agriculture. Museveni also pledged roads, schools, electricity, and health facilities that will facilitate wealth creation. Kamwenge district leaders praised Museveni for establishing a road network, good health units, and wealth creation programs. Today, President Museveni will conclude his campaign in Toro sub-region with his latest rally in Kyenjojo before entering Bunyoro sub-region, starting with a rally in Kibale district. The National Unity Platform presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu urged supporters and foot soldiers in Nakawa East and West to remain calm, disciplined despite provocation from security agencies. He praised them for staying composed under pressure and said discipline is vital for completing their campaigns. Kyagulanyi asked residents to vote for him on the 15th of January, promising peace and development. He also condemned the harsh treatment of his supporters, noting some were beaten with batons during the mobilization. Uganda Police Force have given the account of the violent incident that transpired in Gulu between the National Unity Platform presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu and security forces. The police spokesperson, Rushoke Gituma, expressed the force's regret for the witnessed actions. During the campaign in Gulu last week, the National Unity Platform presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu and team were allegedly attacked by stick-wielding gangs and whom they suspect were attached to different security agencies. Some were even donned in security uniform. Police regrets the action and have launched an investigation into the allegations. In circulating videos, counter-terrorism officers attached to the candidate Robert Kyagulanyi's centre given to him by the Electoral Commission were also assaulted. Uganda police has resolved to institute an inquiry into the case that led to the use of excessive force by its officers in Gulu. Meanwhile, security have disowned plain-clothed individuals involved in the attack against NUP team in Gulu. Security also calls upon NUP campaigning teams to cooperate for successful political activities. With the voting period left with 38 days, police have observed a generally peaceful campaign period with few incidents in the country. And finally, on the local scene, the European Resuscitation Council has officially handed over new life-saving training equipment to the Association of Ambulance Professionals of Uganda, a move expected to enhance the skills of first responders and improve survival rates in case of cardiac arrest and other critical emergencies, a major boost for the Uganda's emergency medical system. Today, the European Resuscitation Council has handed over modern life-saving training kits to the Association of Ambulance Professionals in Uganda. They also pledge to run more courses in Uganda, training more instructors, and open new opportunities to strengthen emergency care training across the country and build a skilled emergency workforce. Well, with the Resuscitation Council handing over equipment, we come to the end of our local stories. Now, Joanne, please.
And of course, from our international coverage, we are beginning off with India. A team of specially trained elephants has been deployed to help clear uprooted trees and piles of debris left behind the devastating flash flooding that struck PD Jaya district in Indonesia's Aceh province. Now, as you can see on your screen, the footage shows 4 Sumatran elephants working to clear roads in isolated communities in Meunasabi village on Monday afternoon. The elephants have been deployed from the Sari Elephant Training Center on a 7-day mission that runs until December 14th. The head Mahut of Aceh Natural Resources Conservation Center, Nordin, said the debris clearing effort is a humanitarian action. Of course, we cannot clear all the water, but we will focus on the areas where the timber piles are blocking roads and houses, Nordin said. Their task involves maneuvering through the treacherous waterlogged terrain of the Moura Doa sub-district, where conventional heavy machinery struggles to operate. And moving on, the U.S. President Donald Trump expressed dismay and bemusement that his Ukrainian counterpart, Volodymyr Zelensky, has ignored the U.S. peace proposal for the conflict with Russia. Speaking as he arrived for the Kennedy Center Honors Awards on Sunday, we've been speaking to President Putin, and we have been speaking to the European leaders, including Zelensky, he noted. I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed that President Zelensky hasn't yet read the proposal. Russia's fine with it. Russia, I guess, would rather have the whole country, wouldn't you think? He continued. But I'm not sure that Zelensky is fine with it. His people love it, but he hasn't read it. So someday you explain that one to me, he added. The remarks come after last week's U.S.-Ukraine talks and subsequent discussions between U.S. envoys and Russian officials in Moscow. Now, amid reports that a planned follow-up meeting with Zelensky in Brussels, this has been dropped. And on a sad note, coming back to the continent of Africa, kidney patients in Omdurman are facing mounting obstacles in accessing life-saving dialysis and essential medicines as the conflict in Sudan continues to cripple the country's already overstretched healthcare system. Footage captured on Saturday at the Al Munau Educational Hospital shows patients undergoing dialysis amid widespread destruction, with damaged medical equipment scattered across the facility. The center is decommissioned due to a power outage that affected most of Khartoum during the early days of the conflict. As a result, dialysis services for kidney failure patients were disrupted, causing the death of 3,800 patients. According to the latest statistics from the National Center for Kidney Diseases and Surgery, said Dr. Othman Al-Zubairi, director of the Kidney Dialysis Center in Khartoum. Abdirahman Babbeka, a patient receiving treatment, said the situation had become unbearable. It is a real ordeal. If you don't have 20,000 or 25,000 Sudanese pounds, you won't be able to access the center, not to mention the cost of transportation and many essential medical supplies that are available at the center. We hope conditions will get better soon. And of course, that wraps up our international coverage here on GML.
Right, thank you very much, Joanne. That story of elephants helping out is very fascinating, because indeed elephants are considered one of the most intelligent animals.
Wow. Those in Uganda? More than monkey.
Yes.
Even those in Uganda?
Yes.
Did you have to ask that? Are they quite different?
Anyways, are known for breaking through
the game,
destroying people's property. I think they need to.
And causing accidents.
We'll have this conversation a little later on then. But at least research has proven that if you study an elephant's brain and how it functions, it's quite intelligent, almost close to a human.
Intelligent and very
now, starting off with the new vision. Let's have a look at what the new vision has. Government to recruit 1,400 teachers.
Wow.
I know, right? Chaos directed to facilitate process before end of this year. And in the picture there, candidate Museveni pledges to establish military barracks in Kamwenge. Other story to look at, Kapeka at 10, Ugandans urged to utilize the zero-tariff China deal. And Teen Vision, vibes fade, HIV does not. EC declares Jacqueline Mbabazi unopposed. And looking still at matters campaigns, EC Human Rights Body condemn Gulu chaos. And staying still with elections, Chagulanyi to fix ghettos, Muntu to tarmac 119 kilometers Zombo Road. That is what we have. Yes, once they are elected. This is with the...
tarmac, how many?
Now, looking at what the Daily Monitor has, a very interesting headline in the Daily Monitor, of course, accompanied by pictures. Silence in the House of Speech. And it shows different categories of MPs, those who are loud, those who are very outspoken, those who are quite silent, different categories generally of this current August House that is serving Uganda. Also still in the Daily Monitor, the Lizard, of course, about that says, maybe we changed the language of debate. Yeah, that is the idea, the idea that the Lizard has. Museveni to establish barracks to check ADF, and US-Uganda health data sharing pact raises privacy issues. And tenders in there, the Daily Monitor, deals you can look into and grab yourself some opportunities. And looking at the Citizen, what would Nyerere do? WWND, as Tanzania marks the Independence Day of Tanganyika, a country that later united with Zanzibar to form the United Republic of Tanzania. The country finds itself reflecting not only on its political journey, but also on urgent questions about unity, nationhood, and the path forward after the turbulence that followed the October 29th general elections. Still in the Citizen, election elders call for youth guidance, not criticism. And in there, Tanzania aims to save over 2.8 trillion by boosting local production. Now let's look at the Daily Monitor, the Daily Nation. Daily Nation there revealed how to get top senior school slots. Transition, 1.1 million learners who completed junior school are awaiting their grade 9 test results. And matters impact of AI on environment in focus as global meeting opens in Nairobi. And how officials have turned state offices into graft dens. More of the stories, get yourself these copies and dig deeper into those stories. Now, we're getting to that moment where we should have a short break as you enjoy some music.
But I was very concerned when the Lizard said we should change the language maybe in which we debate for parliamentarians. Some members of parliament, when you listen to them in their local, when they are hosted on their local radio stations that speak their mother tongue, some of them are very fluent, very eloquent, and have points.
In their
Yes, when you go to these local radio stations.
Interesting.
Now, when they go to parliament, things don't come out properly.
Let them get
Expressions.
translators.
No, there's a member of parliament I don't
That's
remember.
another. That's another burden on the taxpayer. But colleagues, allow me close this here as time is against us. Pentatonics, carols of the bells. Good morning.
Live.
Good morning, Uganda. Now you'd wonder why I'm starting off with laughter. It's because I work with people who are rather interesting, very comic and funny at that. I wish you would see the unserious side of them. That is Joan Murungi and Chiravo Robert Nyonyintono. But good morning. Thank you so much for choosing to watch UBC TV this morning. Joan and Robert, please contain yourselves. It's a Tuesday, indeed, and a brand new day. Tuesdays are usually that day of the week for me that carries every other day of the week in it. But I don't know what your Tuesday is like. One thing for sure is we'll look forward to ending it and ending it with achievement. My name is Julie F. Nantava, and an interesting story outside of Uganda. Not so sure if Joan will hint on it, but oh well. Australia's social media ban for children has left big tech companies scrambling. Various governments from the state of Utah to the European Union have been experimenting with limiting children's access and use of social media. But the most radical step so far is set to unfold in Australia, a ban for under 16s that kicks in on the 10th of December, which has left tech companies scrambling. Many of these social media firms affected have spent a year loudly protesting this again, and that is against the new law, which requires them to take reasonable steps to keep underage users from having accounts on their platforms. And they claim that this ban actually risks making children less safe, argued it impinges on their rights, and repeatedly pointed to the questions around the tech that will be used to enforce the policy. Now, I wonder what a parent thinks. You as a parent, you think on this. You as a Ugandan, you think on this, especially when you have these conversations on children's rights. But indeed, I wonder if Robert will have something to say, and Joan. But for now, good morning. This is Good Morning Uganda, and we come to you live from Kampala City, and the particular station is called Nile Avenue. The TV station is UBC TV, inspiring Uganda. Good morning, Joan.
Good morning, Julie. A very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you.
You're
too.
well. How was your night?
It was well. And
Oh,
yours?
it was perfect. No.
Perfect.
Literally perfect. Yeah. Good morning to you, our viewers. Robert, I will forgive you for that, but it's okay. Just like Julie said, let me not mention what you just said, but I hope everyone had a very, very blessed night. You know, this, if you're awake and you're accompanying us this morning, it is evident that you've survived Monday, and now it's time to crush on Tuesday. You know, Tuesdays are days whereby it's time to focus on your goals. Since Monday you're having the weekend blues, and now you're back onto the basics, and you're really figuring it out how you should go about your business. But there is a concern, Julie and Robert, about crash victims, especially on accident scenes. And now that we've noticed, ideally bystanders rush to these scenes to help out on the victims who have been injured. And now medical experts do warn that
Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the MyNGN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for being on the show. Okay, you will forgive me, but I do not know what my colleagues fed on this morning, because every time, shortly before the cameras roll, someone just chooses to crack your ribs in the instant of starting the program. But good morning. It's a good morning, and it's a Tuesday, the 9th of December 2025. The year is wrapping up, but also as it wraps up, reports are being released as to what 2025 has looked like in some of the areas. In particular, this morning, let's look at the World Malaria Report 2025, which was released by the World Health Organization last week. And it is a very interesting report that I'm definitely whose brief I'm going to take you through, but be part of this conversation as we chew on it alongside you. 0709602592. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono and Joanne Murunji. Now, the 2025 malaria report has highlights such as, number one, it highlights what the 2024 report looked like. The 2024 highlighted trends in malaria control with investments in malaria programs across all areas. For example, prevention, diagnosis, treatment, elimination, and surveillance. That is in about 80 malaria endemic countries. Now, this year's report spotlights the growing threat of anti-malarial drug resistance, which is the backbone of malaria treatments after failures of, the resistance comes from the drug of artemisinin. And this drug in particular is the backbone of malaria treatments, of course, after failures of chloroquine and sulfadoxine pyrimethamine. Now, this has been confirmed and or suspected in at least 8 African countries. And there are potential signs of declining efficacy of some of the drugs that are combined with artemisinin. Now, looking at what the numbers have looked like over the years since 2000, the year 2000, 2.3 billion malaria cases and 14 million deaths have been averted worldwide, which includes 1 million lives saved in 2024 alone. And there has been continued movement there towards global elimination goals, which has 47 countries and 1 territory now officially certified as malaria-free by World Health Organization. This was Egypt. Despite these gains, however, malaria remains a serious global health challenge with an estimated 282 million cases and 610,000 deaths in 2024, roughly 9 million more cases from the previous year. The World Health Organization African region continues to bear the greatest burden, with 11 countries accounting for about 2/3 of the global cases in deaths. Now, coming to what Uganda looks like, well, according to Dr. Jonathan Kayondo, who is the head of the Department of Entomology, the World Malaria Report has been released, of course, and when you look at the figures, it is clear that the situation is disconcerting. The numbers are not where we would want them to be. This is what he says. And he says that, of course, this is compared to last year. It's obvious that globally we have either stagnated or worsened. And if you look again still at Uganda, he goes ahead to say that we cannot get rid of mosquitoes completely, as there are over 400,000 species globally, and not all of these species transmit malaria. And in Africa, only a handful of species are responsible, and focuses specifically on these species, or focus on specifically these species in Uganda and the East African region is what has been done. This is still according to the health experts. Now, after giving you that preamble and reading some of those statistics, first and foremost, make sure that you save the number 0709602592 so that you join us in this conversation. But I'll fly straight to Joan. Joan,
yeah.
What do you, not even what do you think, what do you know are the causes of malaria? Let's first get a preamble and an education on that.
Exactly. From the doctors I've spoken to, the causes of malaria, one thing we cannot just skip and go to are the environmental causes, are the biological ones. And one, that is the presence of the vector, which is the female Anopheles mosquito. Once it is available or once it is present, obviously there will be malaria infections, because this Anopheles mosquito spreads the virus to the person that affects the blood and also the liver. So as long as we still have the presence of the vector, there will still be malaria in Uganda. And also the breeding sites. There are so many breeding sites, for example, bushes that are really, really wild and long. These all cause malaria to be present, because mosquitoes find these as the breeding sites to lay eggs, and then they multiply so that they can infect the people. So poor drainage is also what someone may call stagnant water. or not taking care of water that kind of takes long, and in the end result, it becomes one of the reasons. That's why these female Anopheles mosquitoes find them as breeding grounds. So once we do not work on the drainage or road constructions, whereby you see maybe sand is left for a while, and when it rains, it decomposes, or it forms forth, and these female Anopheles mosquitoes come to lay eggs there, and they multiply so that they can cause malaria infections. Even construction sites that are abandoned, once they are left unattended for quite long, they will become breeding sites for the malaria, for the female Anopheles mosquitoes. And in Uganda particularly, also the climate. When you look at the geography of Uganda,
right,
it favors the presence of malaria because from the scientists, they say temperature that is 18 degrees Celsius is so warm. So these Anopheles mosquitoes find comfort in breeding in such areas. And also, you find that previously highlands that were really cold, once the climate changes or the weather, they will become a bit warmer, and they will become breeding grounds for the female Anopheles mosquito. And also, focusing on Kampala, urbanization, the rapid growth of cities like Kampala, whereby you find ghettos that lead to development of slums. Most of us know what happens in those slums, especially when it comes to health, how these people live their lives. You know, you find the drainages are unattended to, and they also throw in litter that decomposes, which becomes a breeding ground for the female Anopheles mosquitoes. So urbanization also contributes, if not well managed, contributes to the presence of malaria due to the development of slums. And also we can look at other factors like the health care access. Do these people have access to health care? Do they know what should they do once they contract malaria, or once they are infected, or they do not know? And also the poverty available. Once someone is sick, they may not be able to afford a full dose of malaria. You find Ugandans are prescribed once someone is infected with malaria. I know someone, and by the way, a full doctor, I mean academia, in the field of academia. He got sick with malaria. That was mid-October. He was diagnosed and given a prescription, but he did not finish the dose. And later on, after something like 3 weeks, he got sick again of the same disease. So when we are prescribed for a medication for malaria, let's please ensure that we finish the doses so that we avoid reinfection. And also the human behavior. How do we behave? You know, the Ministry of Health, I've had adverts on radio, Ministry of Health sensitizing people. Clear bushes, make sure you clear stagnant water. But because of us, the human behavior, the pit latrines that we do use, how do we take care of them? Robert, behind the scenes, you were talking about people used to pour oil in stagnant water so that these breeding grounds clear. Even pit latrines, there's some people who do pour oil to clear that larvae from forming and to restrain malaria from becoming in existence in such areas. So the behavior of human beings that is not really applicable to the prevention of malaria has also contributed. And also the transmission. You know, an Anopheles mosquito transmits malaria from an infected person to the other. So if you do not sleep in nets and all that, there is always a presence of malaria, though the government, together with the Ministry of Health, have done some strategies to curb malaria infections.
Thank you very much, Joan, for giving us that detailed brief on the causes. And for me, I think what stands out is the fact that even as humans, by the way, we are poor at our hygiene. It's as simple as that. It starts from there, for as long as you do not pay heed to your hygiene. Robert, why have we stagnated? Why do you think the report is giving us an update of stagnation, yet a lot of investment is being poured into the fight against malaria?
First, we've become complacent.
Yeah.
You know, there was a time when among the diseases that was killing Ugandans, like nothing, was malaria. Now you had the malaria control program, a number of programs, and somehow we reduced the deaths due to malaria. We didn't get to the desired levels, but we reduced. Now, we became complacent, like we've become complacent when it comes to HIV/AIDS. So Ugandans were like, today if you tell someone, gundi yafude musuja, like when some so died of malaria. Are people still dying of malaria? Some would say, musuja, because to some extent, government has put in place drugs for malaria.
Right.
Now, people no longer have the fear of what they used to have when it comes to malaria. Because one assumes when I get malaria, treatment is available. It may be expensive, but available. And even we have free drugs for malaria in government hospitals. They could be stolen in some, but in the number someone will walk in, they will check if it's malaria, prescription, the drugs are there in some parts of this country. So, because we've become complacent, we may not have the deaths so much, but the people getting infected with malaria and the impact of people being sick. If you have malaria and you're down for a week or two, you're not productive.
Right.
How much is government spending in that? So complacency is the leading factor why we have stagnated. 2, some of the initiatives that are running to prevent, we've either not had enough sensitization or we've lacked enforcement. Let me give you an example. One of the ways of surviving a female Anopheles mosquito Gambier that causes malaria most in Uganda here is sleeping under a treated mosquito net. Now, because when you're not in deep sleep, a mosquito can land, but you can still, because your body is still active. Joan and Judy, these are things you've grown up doing, you know, then, you know, you can fight it off.
Speaking like you're sure of where
You
we
know
grew up.
exactly, shooting
please
at
continue.
us. We know you're lying, but please continue
You know,
about
these
us.
are things even you Ugandans watching.
You're just pulling your leg. It's
No,
okay.
even you Ugandans watching us, many of us, including
Yeah.
me,
Yes.
not to be in denial. We've heard those sounds and you do something like
That's true.
this, or you hit it. So, because your body is still active.
Right.
But when you're in deep sleep, this mosquito will work on you because you're almost half dead. And all it needs to do, it will do it. It will do it. So you'll get infected. But now look at what I said. Either we've lacked enforcement. Government of Uganda, with development partners, decide to give out free mosquito nets to the Joans here,
Yeah,
to the Julies here, to you watching us. Now, when people get mosquito nets, and someone says, for me, I have a garden here, where the chicken of the neighbor come and disturb. They tear, then put around the mosquito net. Some in fishing, so I think these ones with government will not disturb us. They are not illegal. They use them for fishing. Others,
They collect empty bottles, plastics. You see them on trucks, forces.
yes, so this is an initiative that would make the records and statistics drop. But because there is no enforcement, or there is not enough sensitization, but even sometimes I have issues with this generation. Some of us who have lived is, you know, it's very disturbing when people who had not gone to school, like with education, I don't want to use the word I would have used, but define that
I
situation.
think even self-medication in there plays a role.
Self-medication, because now we are looking at changing statistics. How do we prevent? Because it is that medication that has even also affected the statistics. Because previously, 3-4 decades back, if someone contracted malaria, it was serious malaria. Now, because treatment is there, and I'm not saying it is bad, it is good. Someone will tell you only malaria, I'll take mycoatam, I'll take those drugs, I'll take this, you know, I'll go to a hospital, a drip 1 or 2, the next I sleep for 3 days. Even some bosses, you can't tell them, I have malaria, I'm unable to come to work.
Very cool.
No, I'm just saying some bosses, they will say, malaria? How can malaria prevent you from coming to work?
Right.
Just malaria. So anything when you become complacent,
Indeed.
it takes all the
Complacency
effort. Yes.
indeed is such an enemy to this fight. Now, good morning, Uganda. I think the main causes of malaria are the poor disposal of garbage, old containers, poor drainage, and lack of knowledge of the masses on how to prevent malaria. So if all these are checked, then we'll have gotten rid of malaria. Thank you. This is Edson Mohanji from Entebbe. Edson, thank you so much for always being on. And from what Robert has submitted, clearly, I think on a larger scale, we are such a complacent and lazy generation. Simply put at that, because we have everything available for us. John, this conversation has to definitely come to its close, but do take us through what you think should be done.
Okay, one, we can look at vaccination. The government of Uganda, together with the Ministry of Education, have routine vaccination, so people can access these vaccines. Do not say the vaccines are not there or they are compromised, like some Ugandans have a tendency. Please, if you don't know about the facts about a vaccine, do not spread misinformation or fake information about vaccines. So you go to health centers. The vaccines are available and at a free cost. And also, among the preventive measures, we can use insecticide. You know, I would not mention the specific brands, but sleeping under a treated mosquito net can also prevent malaria. Like Robert has submitted, I know someone, actually yesterday we had a conversation about malaria, and he was like, you know, I have mosquitoes at home. So I probed, don't know, you know, have a mosquito net? He's like, I have like 4 of them, but I don't use them. And I'm like, so you have treated mosquito nets, but you deliberately refuse to use these mosquito, and after you complain that you have malaria. It's like, yeah, I just don't want to use them because they get so hot at night. I'm like, what kind of a generation are we really having? And another thing, we can, as Ugandans, we can participate in government programs that have insecticide, that are having insecticides being sprayed inside homes. You know, like, are they called bed bugs, Robert? Ebiko, they are bed bugs. You know, there are times when the Ministry of Health rolls out a spraying of, why you're wondering why I particularly asked you. Anyway, away from that, when the Ministry of Health comes to your communities and they are spraying inside your homes insecticides for prevention of malaria, please do participate in these government programs.
Indoor residual spray.
Yeah.
Do you remember the DDT or you were not yet bought?
What is that?
Okay.
Well, in regards to mosquito nets, you know, sometimes I think also the government should take action in checking the quality of mosquito nets that are being distributed, because some of them have very tiny spaces. You find that instead someone suffocates as opposed to it.
Oh, that's why they say they get too hot at times.
Hot, I don't know. Suffocating, yes, at least that I've experienced. That it's hard for you to breathe in the night, rather as you are under that mosquito net. And the best thing to do is to opt to actually buy what is comfortable for you. So I think on our end, as we play our part, as a generation, you can tell that the major problem, we are so complacent, we are so lazy as a generation. We are not playing the part that we are supposed to play. But also on the side of the government that is that spearheads the fight in our country, I think we should make sure that whatever is procured, whatever is provided, is indeed the right quality and the right specification for suitable human use. For now,
Julie, before you go, I have just something small to add on what you talked about the government. I think it is high time government also facilitated further research, because they can be, you said Egypt has now eradicated malaria.
According to World Health Organization.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think that was about 3 years back or 20 something.
Actually last year.
Last year? Oh, okay. I think once our researchers are equipped and properly funded, some of the things on how Egypt eradicated malaria, they manufactured genetically modified mosquitoes that suppressed.
Which is a process that we are doing at the Uganda Virus
Institute.
Right.
Oh.
In Entebbe. Yes, we are coming up with mosquitoes,
Right.
either that will be eating these
Exactly, to reduce
ones,
the population.
or mosquitoes that will only be giving laying eggs to male, because the males do not
Obviously,
transmit.
It's the female. So there is some research happening at the Uganda Virus Institute. At least I had an opportunity to tour there. But of course, we have also other legal. I'm told there's also something that has to be done by law to allow this from happening. So we are ready. I think we are still having challenges with the legal frameworks.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. Closing this with a comment that comes through from Shaki, who says we must make our environment cleaner. Even the government gives us, they treat them, the nets the government gives us, they treat them, and when we iron them,
Yeah, how do you iron a mosquito net?
why should you iron a mosquito
And
net?
how?
Who told them to iron?
All right.
I've not heard.
Up next is JME Tourism Express. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Balamusiza basebo ne banyabo. It's an amazing morning coming all the way from the Lubiri or the Kabaka's Palace. It is the amazing building behind me, and it is today that we are going to find out what is in the palace. What are the stories attached to the palace? Does the king sleep in, or it is his office? We've been seeing the straight line. We get to see the drum in Mengo, and we're wondering what are the stories attached to these. For those of you that usually go through Mengo and around the Lubiri, you've seen the totems along the roads. Now, we are bringing you the entire story, and not forgetting what do you find in the Lubiri. Many of you have watched movies. Maybe a few things can relate. Maybe we have other unique things here. So get to know what the Lubiri holds and the stories behind them this morning. And with me this morning is Mwami Sechibule Elvis, who is going to tell us more about the Kabaka's Palace. You just have the right person. He's the tour guide of the Lubiri, and he'll give us all the information that you need to know about this place.
Thank you very much, Zakia. My name is Elvis. As you've introduced me, I welcome you at the King's Palace. The place where we are, again, this is the official palace for the King of Uganda, Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi, the 36th King of Uganda. This is his official palace. This palace has a lot of history attached to the Kingdom of Uganda, and it has been a home for the last 3 kings, kings like Mwanga, kings like Daudi Chwa, and Sir Edward Mutesa II, the dad of the current king. This palace has a norm that kings could always establish themselves palaces. It was Kabaka Mwanga, the first king who established his capital here in 1885. Kabaka Mwanga succeeded his dad Mutesa I. Mutesa had his own in Kasubi. Then Mwanga established here his in 1885. Mwanga came into power during the colonial era. That's what is so much remembered about him. He clashed with the British. It is important to tell you that he was the first king of Uganda who made an agreement with the British. That was the 1894 British Protectorate, which led us to know Uganda, as it was a British colony, was under the British control. Then he later fell out with the British. They clashed. He was even exiled twice. For the second time, he was exiled in the Seychelles Island in the Indian Ocean. His remains are brought back and buried at the tombs. Then king number 2 is King Daudi Chwa. Daudi Chwa became king at a tender age, was almost 13 months. That is 1 year and 1 month. Since he became a king at that age, honestly, he knew nothing. So he couldn't build for himself a palace like how kings do. He used the palace of his dad. And he became king number 2 to sleep in this very place. His exposure to the European lifestyle is the one who gave him the idea of constructing this building, the way how it looks modern. Actually, his first time to explore Europe, the Buckingham Palace, that's when he got up this idea. So this building is one of the oldest structures we have in the country, constructed 1922 and finished 1933. This was the reign of Kabaka Daudi Chwa. Not only that, but he was a very liberal king. Exposure of the girls to education, because Africa, boys were the ones which were prioritized when it came to school. Women eating eggs and chicken, because it was initially taboo. We all saw this during the reign of Kabaka Daudi Chwa. Then the last king to stay here is Sir Edward Mutesa II. Mutesa II, this was the palace where he was when it was attacked in 1966 by Idi Amin on the orders of Milton Obote. Kingdoms were abolished. Obote rubbished the Lancaster Conference, which had given Buganda a federal state. And kingdoms were abolished, they were placed on a stop. This palace was turned to be a barracks. For almost 27 years, we had no kingdoms. 1993, kingdoms were brought back, and the current king was crowned, King Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II. So he does not literally sleep here due to the bad history and the memories attached on this palace. He just uses this place as his office. When he has visitors, he meets them here. Then he proceeds out to other palaces. Some of the people whom he have met in this place, we have the Sultan of Sokoto from Zanzibar. We have the Asante Hene, Nana Osei Tutu Otumufuo of Ghana, the late great Raila Amolo Odinga. This is the place where they've been meeting the king of Uganda. Yeah. So in the palace compounds, this is where the ceremonies are prepared. We've had ceremonies like the coronation ceremony, the king's birthday. This is the place where most of them have been being organized. Yeah.
So when you talked about this being invaded,
yes,
and then kingdoms were abolished until a certain time when the current king came in, and he said it
Yes.
So there was nothing like this before. He had to reconstruct and own the land again.
Actually, when the palace was attacked, even the building was somehow damaged. Its official renovation happened 1997 when the army vacated this land. Not only Buganda, but most of other kingdoms, their palaces, even if you go to Fort Potro, that palace of the king of Toro, it was a barracks. So officially vacated, and then the palace officially came back in the hands of the people of Buganda. The building had to be renovated and restored. Yeah.
So weren't there damages made of misplacing some of the things that were owned by the kings then?
Actually, a lot of things were destroyed. We had a lot of royal regalia and treasure inside this palace, pictures, and the kind of portraits, and lots of things during the reign of Idi Amin and Obote were all taken out. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Welcome back from Tourism Express, and it is proudly sponsored by Uganda Tourism Board. Right now, it is time for the GMU business, and of course, we give you the insights of the market prices, and of course, what is happening around the business world. And starting off with our aviation news, Makerere University students have been taken through a training and sensitization drive to create clear pathways into the aviation industry. The initiative, spearheaded by Uganda Airlines in collaboration with Boeing, exposes learners to the diverse employment opportunities within the aviation sector. Let's have a look at this collaboration.
Uganda Airlines, in partnership with Boeing, a leading aircraft manufacturer based in the United States of America, has embarked on a mission to demystify the aviation industry. The two entities, working alongside sector partners, have engaged with Makerere University students to showcase opportunities that exist and guiding them on how to tap into these pathways.
We want to create a pipeline of professionals who will come in all walks of life. They'll come in, we need lawyers, we need instructors. So we are speaking to education, those who are training to be teachers. We need salespeople, so we are talking to those who are doing marketing and selling, creatives, those who are building the brand. We need a lot more than just pilots and engineers.
With statistics showing that more than 4 billion people traveled by air in 2018, and with global economies steadily recovering from the effects of COVID-19 pandemic, the aviation industry is on a strong growth trajectory. This growth calls for a robust pipeline of competent professionals drawn from diverse backgrounds.
Airline, we're talking to Uganda Airline about the operations of Boeing airplanes. And so once these airplanes are integrated into Uganda Airlines fleet, they will create jobs for students from Makerere University, for example. They talk about some of the training program, an apprenticeship where they could come to Uganda Airlines, work in maintenance, and then they could be employed full-time in the airlines.
Beyond Makerere University, Uganda Airlines Management plans to roll out this initiative to younger learners in primary and secondary schools, nurturing interest in aviation at an early age.
So this really creates a very good example for what we want to keep doing here in the university, to ensure that students, get a feel of how ready they could be.
So in primary, you're saying I'll be a doctor, I'll be a journalist, So we also want to go to the primary schools, not just in Kampala, even up country. Then as well as the high schools, so that kids can already know at that tender age, how do they move into the airline space.
The sensitization drive supported by Boeing comes at a time when Uganda Airlines is preparing to expand its fleet and open new routes. The engagement here at Makerere University by Uganda Airlines and Boeing seeks to bring up to speed the younger generation about the opportunities that the aviation industry presents. Dennis Igoa for UBC.
And from our welfare updates, Ugandan advocates are being encouraged to join the Ugandan Law Society Healthcare and Benevolent Fund and expanding a welfare initiative designed to cushion members whenever life takes an unexpected turn. The fund provides structured support for lawyers, their families, and dependents during medical emergencies. Let's have a look.
Education support to the bereaved families' children. We are still far from that. That's their biggest, but we are not yet there.
Although advocates proudly call themselves land friends, many still lack comprehensive health insurance or long-term welfare plans. Gaps the Healthcare and Benevolent Fund is working to close. The initiative aims to safeguard the dignity and continuity of the legal profession by providing reliable support during moments of vulnerability. During the first annual general meeting, the board chairperson Lydia Proskovia Ochengo-Bo highlighted its role in offering an alternative lifeline for members facing illnesses, education challenges, or bereavement.
We want to have a healthy lawyer throughout, not just when they are sick, not just but throughout our lives. So what are we talking about? We want to have people who live healthy lives and have healthy lifestyles. We sit a lot in our offices. We need to, every time, we need to start getting up and walking deliberately.
The fund has supported more than 25 advocates through medical aid, school fees assistance, and emergency relief. She emphasized the fund as a shared professional responsibility rooted in solidarity. Uganda Protection Fund Director Investments, Alan Letab, encouraged lawyers to embrace the scheme as a dependable soft landing as they age, face ill health, or encounter disability.
Working together, we can build a lot more support. We can build an ecosystem that does on the healthcare and benevolent side supports us, but also these funds can be invested even in some of our memberships activities to generate income for ourselves.
President Emeritus Bernard Ondo described it as a long overdue milestone in strengthening advocate welfare.
As President Emeritus, sometimes I reached the funeral services, and what really caught your mind were the children that were left behind. And when you think about it, and you look at the numbers that the LSK is spending, we can actually do it.
Kenya's Benevolent Association chairperson Baron Meneza noted the success of their nearly 20,000 member scheme, underscoring the importance of collective welfare assistance across East Africa.
Advocates Benevolent Association of Kenya is the association with which we did benchmark to have this project started and running.
Representing the Attorney General, Dr. Souza commended the Uganda Law Society for institutionalizing a structured support mechanism for legal professionals.
Pledge to support the fund and the Law Society in this project, TCA project, I think. And we shall be present as and when we are needed.
Driven by member subscriptions, the fund has paid hospital bills, supported families in mourning, and provided emergency relief.
And social support, which have actually been happening even before the Benevolent Fund, prior to where we fundraise for members and that kind of thing.
Funded in 2024, the initiative now unites almost 6,000 active and retired members, committed to building a sustainable and compassionate welfare structure for the profession.
And from our consumer reporting, government is committed on ensuring a conducive environment through quality policy legislation and security to enable innovation and business slide under the Inclusive Finance Innovation. The Commissioner Ministry of Finance Moses Ogwapa has confirmed a symposium on finance innovation in Uganda. Our reporter has this.
I think it was also agreed at this forum.
The Commissioner Ministry of Finance Moses Ogwapa says digital services have enabled PDM fund transfer effective, although they have to discuss with other financial partners to find solution to the higher charges which may hinder digital money transfer.
Are not breached, but also I think it was also agreed at this forum that issues of cybersecurity need to be taken at a higher level, where all stakeholders, including government, should be fully involved in this process.
Martin Timagezi, the Deputy Director, Bank of Uganda, says Bank of Uganda has reduced financial costs through automatized digital banking and using Chatterbox to access information.
The cost of moving mobile money, for example, sending money to you or ensuring that you cash out that mobile money, the costs are quite high. And we all know, I also use mobile money, I also use those cashless, I do those cashless transactions. So we are aware that the costs are quite high, and Bank of Uganda is taking steps to ensure that those costs are lowered to a great extent.
Centenary Bank says they have introduced agent banking next to our homes to avoid extra movements for money transfer, and says that through these agents one can even acquire loans.
The way they are, for instance, paying their school fees, the way they are paying their bills, the way they are purchasing, it shows the real purchasing power compared to what we would know about cash. Because cash leaves no trail, it leaves no evidence. Yet, when you are moving cash from one person to another, it helps to know your behavior and therefore helps us to design suitable products that are able to move you to another level.
In the world of business today, business entities prefer digital transfer, leading to efficiency.
First, symposium on financial innovation. Why this financial innovation symposium is Consumer Publication Uganda thought it prudent that would convene stakeholders, partners, and that which we are grateful that we are working closely with the Bank of Uganda, with our main sponsor, and we have other banks and stakeholders, Centenary Bank, Housing Finance Bank, CMA, and others. KCB, we are so grateful and accomplished because these people need this information. Uganda needs information on finance and financial inclusion for all, having every Ugandan on board. And so the Consumer Publication Uganda today has convened all these partners, including our banks, fintechs, and telcos. And we are thankful to all of our partners.
And of course, it's time to look at the rates of Forex as they stood on 8th December 2025 from Bank of Uganda. Kicking off with the US dollar as it opened at 3,533.77 and sold at 3,543.77, and by midday, the dollar bought 3,531.73 and sold at 3,541.73. And by the close of day, the dollar bought at 3,530.05 and sold at 3,540.05. The Great British Pound bought at 4,708.73 and sold at 4,722.07. While the Euro bought in at 4,117.80 and sold at 4,129.46. From the neighboring countries, the Kenyan shilling bought at 27.29 and sold at 27.36. The Tanzanian shilling bought at 1.44 and still sold at the same rate of 1.44. While the South African rand bought at 208.49 and sold at 209.08. You can check it out if you want to exchange some dollars or some pounds or some euros. But we always bring you those rates each and every morning here on GMO Business. But today, Tuesday, is a special day and we have some birthday shout outs. And indeed, it is a happy birthday to our shining star, Praise. Today, we celebrate a very special young lady, Praise. May your day be as bright as your smile and as wonderful as you are. Here's to a year filled with laughter, adventure, and making unforgettable memories. And here's to many more candles on your cake. Praise. Special wishes. From Uncle Davis and of course from me, Joan N. Moronji. And that wraps up our segment of GMO Business. Coming up is the agenda with Julie. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Juko. Yo. What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Our program of poverty eradication is a must. We want everybody to be involved.
Through the parish development model, Ugandans are starting small but impactful projects to improve their livelihoods.
When we give 1 million, we know it's not enough to do many things, but it's a starting point.
I'm a PDM beneficiary, a farmer. Your Excellency, I was given 1 million Uganda shillings from Kobil Kawo PDM Circle. Your Excellency, I got 20 bunches from my small piece of land sold, got 400,000, put in the PDM farm, Your Excellency, in the PDM money, Your Excellency, I bought a cow of 1,400,000.
In 1 year, 100 families in the parish get. In 5 years, 500 families would have got.
We were the first people to receive money from Nakaprepret. I received $1 million. I rented 4 acres of land and I was able to harvest 14 bags.
So really this 1 million is enabling somebody to start something. Yes, and we don't want to give too much money to one person because we have got very many people to cover.
The parish development model empowers the people, focusing on lifting up the masses and creating opportunities that ensure prosperity for all. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Ghetto structure okusooka ffe twali twepima nga ghetto structure tenabeerawo bali batugoba nga bintu si byakubeera nga tusobola okumiitinga mwe mwali temusobola na kutumiitinga batulaga bagenda tulondesa obukulembeze ne batulaga nti tulina okweteekateeka ne batulaga nti mu bayamba mulina okubeera ne sako era essaawa zino eno nakasente tukayina mwe kali mu ofiisi tukakozesa ba beneficiaries abantu ab'omu ghetto wansi tuyanziza nnyo His Excellency the President of Uganda Brigadier General Damulira Major Emma Kuteesa House Controller anti-ghetto tumuyita anti-ghetto structure kati mulimu nze nagufuula mulimu office eno ghetto structure mulimu kati gwenkola sikyalina kyenkola kyonna banaye ba ghetto youth mwenna bakubiriza ghetto structure yazze n'emikono ebiri ebeere ng'etuyambako oba ng'etujjayo yonna gye tuli ng'etusapootinga mu buli kimu veeyo akasente mwe kali mu ofiisi ak'okwekulaakulanya mutuukire ofiisi ensonga zammwe zonna zigenda kukolebwako.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. If you started the show with us, always a pleasure having you. It means a lot, so thank you. If you are just joining in, thank you. This is Good Morning Uganda, and you are watching UBC TV. If you've joined us along the way, we do appreciate your time with us and you choosing to give us that time to be inspired. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. It's time for the agenda, and this morning, we are looking at something we've looked at over the weeks, but this time around with a different twist where we're having two different perspectives on this particular matter, and that is the role of the security, the role of the electorate, that is the community, and the role of candidates who are contesting for election positions as we journey on the road to 2026. Well, in the first place, halfway the journey, there seemed to be peace, and quite a number of people always made mention of the fact that this campaign season is rather different. But as we are moving forward, I'm not so sure if the trajectory is starting to change or it's just one-offs here and there, but definitely we see the stories as they happen, we receive the facts as they happen. Underneath, underlying facts beneath these events, well, these are things and facts we do not have yet, as of course the EC is condemning acts of violence. The Uganda police is also condemning acts of violence, especially in regards to what happened in Gulu, and of course awaits a report, an official investigative report as to what exactly happened. So far what we can talk about is what we see and what happened on camera and by facts as they happen. But let's dissect this matter all together, not just what happened in Gulu, but all together in order to maintain peace and have a violence-free exercise into January 2026. What is the role of the security system? What is the role of the community? What is the role of the candidates? 0709-602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be part of this conversation. Engage it by text. If you call, I'll be unable to answer you effectively. So by text, we're able to, of course, speak into your opinion or your question effectively. And in studio with me, two gentlemen, Francis Adepo, usual suspect, who is the chairperson of the FDC Youth League at the national level. I'm almost calling him a co-host very, very soon. Francis, please, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Julie, and all the viewers wherever you are. It's a pleasure being here on the waves of the national television UBC once again.
Indeed.
For emphasis, my name is Francis Adepo, and I'm the national youth chairman of the FDC Youth League, meaning that I sit on all the organs of this party, which is taking government come 2026 under the leadership of Honorable Nathan Andala Mafabi. And I'm also in the trenches as a candidate in Bugabula North constituency. And in my introduction, I want to appreciate my people wherever I've gone. The very good hospitality they have given to me. The people of Namasagali, the people of Kagumba, the people of Chibuye, the people of Nabitalo, the people of Kasozi Mengo, Kafeu, all those places wherever we have gone. I really want to appreciate you for the very nice welcome that you have given me together with my team, and inshallah we are going to change the environment of our area politically through getting good leadership in the names of Adepo Francis. I also want to, in greeting, I also want to inform the country that the next president of Uganda, Honorable Nathan Andala Mafabi, today, he's going to the western part of this country, the place which they assume that maybe it is may be better, and he's going to be in the places of Kazo, he's going to be in the places of Uganda, going to be in the district of Chiruhura today. So the people of Chiruhura, Iva and Akazo are really drumming up for the next president.
Right. Indeed, looking forward to what that campaign trail is to look like. And of course, as the media team, we're here to bring all of that to you and to inform you in the name of inspiring you. Now, my immediate neighbor is one we should give a special welcome because it's his first time at this desk discussing this matter on UBC TV. That is Atwebembere Achels, who is the Regional Community Liaison Officer, Kampala Metropolitan East. Good morning, Afandi.
Good morning, Madam Julie, and good morning, viewers. My name is ASP actually is Atwebembere, and I'm the Regional Community Liaison Officer for KMP East.
Right.
I don't know which chance you have got to mention my name well. Many people usually do not mention my name very well. But I think you had a chance this morning of mentioning it very well. First of all, I want to thank the viewers who are always watching us and encourage them to remain watching as they hear how we should keep our country safe, especially through this election and through the festival season.
Right. Thank you very much. And I will start with you. What is the role of the security forces during this season?
Our main purpose is always delivered from the Constitution. It is to make sure that we protect people's lives and properties. That is our main role. And we are trying our level best to do it the way we should be doing it. Only that we sometimes get, like any other work, you get some obstacles, but we do it according to the way we should be doing it. And among other rules is that there are some guidelines that are always given, especially in this period of elections. And those guidelines are always given to the different candidates who are aspiring on different positions. Though sometimes some candidates who do not follow up some of the guidelines end up into a scuffle with security forces, of which at the end of the day we try to make sure that the situation is no man calm.
When we talk about some of the things that do not go right, what you've called obstacles, how do you deal with public perception in regards to these obstacles? Because, for example, with what happened in Gulu, of course, an investigation is taking shape right now to have a conclusive report, but it breeds tension between the public that is supposed to trust the security system, the same security system which is supposed to protect the candidates as they carry on their campaigns. It's the same security system that is now clashing with all of these parties, and yet at the end of the day it's supposed to be one big ball that is just playing into each other's roles. So how are you handling public perspective?
Most of the times I usually tell people that we shouldn't always look at the symptoms and the signs of something. When you have malaria right now, you can get signs and symptoms of vomiting, then you find you have headache, you have fever. The moment you treat headache and fever, you may remain with that malaria for 10 years.
Right.
Unless you say, let me treat the real malaria. So most of the times we don't look at the root cause. As Ugandans, we usually look at the symptoms which have come later, but we don't look at what has caused this and this. Every time our security forces wake up for a certain function, we are not briefed on some of the actions, either tear gas or beating or something else. And we go when we are peaceful. Most of the times, our briefing is that you go when you should mainly, let's say, escort the candidate to the venue where he's supposed to be having his campaigns. But along the way, there are some provocations that usually happen, especially to the security forces, which I usually blame the media of not capturing. The media only wants to capture a police officer getting his pepper spray or tear gas, doing it to the public. That's why the media is so much interested. But the media is not interested in the candidate whom they have told, please use the route. Instead of using the Nakawa route, you should use the Chinawataka route. Then a certain candidate jumps off the vehicle and he wants to insist and use the Nakawa route. That one the media does not capture it. The media does not capture candidate who is telling his supporters to start behaving like rebels. And you are telling them before even the police has already acted. The media does not capture the candidate who is telling his people to use stones, or even if the candidate does not tell them. You see, there are some things where I think some people get a briefing before, and someone says, in case there is this, please use your stones, because sometimes you are nowhere. There is an incident which happened in Mukono. There were two police officers and a man. They were standing somewhere, and they were discussing. A very big stone came from nowhere and hit an army man's leg. It got broken immediately. They were just discussing. They were not into anything even. But a very big stone from nowhere came and hit an army man's office, or an army man's leg. I have never seen any media house put out that. But you find a media house is so much interested in where the police officer has tried to react to some of the incidences, which I think is unfair. Though sometimes also there are some incidences like where the police spokesperson yesterday said that we are going to do investigations over some issues. There are some incidences where we also go ahead and do investigations as security officers, and we say here and here, either we're wrong or we're like this, or we went overboard, like that. But our main purpose in whatever we do, our main purpose is to make sure we protect people's lives and properties. If you, during the protection of, or during our mandate, if people may face challenges and they cannot track, it's like in the war. You don't go there facing someone that you should die, but during the process of the war, some people may end up dying. So in the process of protecting life and property, some people may get a few challenges, but still, we as the security forces, we always pray that we do our mandate minus costing anyone.
Right. And allow me stay with you, and thereafter we'll definitely cross over to Mr. Adepo. When you say the media is large. It's a number of players in the media
including
space.
Online.
Including, of course, online, social media, which is the fifth state. And the media cannot have a similar story. Like each media house or social media, players, each one of them has a perspective as to how they're seeing, that has advantage as to how they're seeing these events as they unfold. Some of the events, I'll give an example of, that are on camera and on record. We have seen Honorable Chagulanyi emphasize and make it a point to tell his supporters every now and again before they go for campaigns, do not go chaotic, do not house stones, be organized, just maintain yourselves. There was even an incident where FDC supporters clashed with the NUP supporters, and he still maintained that message of do not disorganize peace, do not hurl any insults at the police or any stones or any items. Generally, you could, on record, on camera, these messages, he's seen putting across these messages, even as of recent, as of when he was in Western Uganda, where we saw NRM supporters, of course, getting a bit heated up. He kept on saying no one should hurl anything at anyone. So if these things are on record, and of course we also have players who are heated up, how does the police balance this? Because you see a candidate who's emphasizing to tell his supporters, or everyone involved, whether supporter or not, to keep calm. But then the masses are responding another way. How does the police or the security system handle this in a way that will preserve everyone's life and deal with only those who are causing the chaos?
The masses respond differently from what their candidate is telling them. Because that's why I was about to come in. I don't know, have you ever asked yourself why the candidate says this and his supporters do different from what he tells them? But that one I will leave it with you. Good thing you have investigative journalism. You should investigate why some candidates publicly say don't stone, but the followers continue stoning.
And what if it's in the moment of self-defense?
Now,
the question becomes hard.
No, that one, no. In the moment of self, that's why I've said you should use your investigative journalism to find out why.
Right.
I would not say there is no self-defense, but the moment you do that investigation, you will get to know what happens.
Right.
Whether it is self-defense, whether it is not self-defense.
Right.
I don't want to bring it out here.
Okay.
But like the way I told you is that we do not encourage violence as police. And we have always briefed our officers to always remain calm. Giving like an example of Uganda, let's say, I remember there was a very peaceful escort. You know, sometimes even you are not supposed to be having processions. Hope you are aware that candidates are not allowed to have processions. But the candidate will provoke you with a procession from somewhere up to his place. But sometimes you say, let me escort this candidate up to the place. Not until publicly, even there are some videos which I have. Some people, they were using a certain language, saying they were proudly stoning police officers. So you can hear someone proudly stoning a police officer, saying if and when a police officer uses self-defense, that is abuse of human rights, according to you. When we try to defend ourselves, do you know stone can kill?
It can. That's true.
Do you know the kind of force we are supposed to be responding with?
No, I don't know.
When there is anything that kills.
Okay.
If someone has a material that kills you, really you should be knowing the nature of force, because we usually say reasonable force. Reasonable force, what they mean is that you should respond equally or slightly above the person who is attacking you, the force of the person who is attacking you. So if you're having a material that will kill me, then there I should respond also with that reasonable force. But sometimes we keep our calmness. We do not respond according to. I think, by the way, if I was a Ugandan, I would be appreciating Uganda police force. In other countries, you cannot do that. What you are doing to our officers. But the bad thing is that, like I told you, all the media houses, including social media, they don't put out exactly what is happening. They just want to bring the top part. If one time I saw a video of a traffic officer, I don't know whether you saw it, where there are some supporters who are trying to push a traffic officer, and her hands even were in pockets, imagine. Now that is the provocation you don't always get. If the traffic officer had pulled out like a pepper spray, and she sprays that supporter who was trying to push her, you would have captured it very well. Your cameras usually see that, but your cameras become blind on the pushing. And I think even the pushing, there must be someone else who captured the pushing of the traffic officer. Someone is pocketing, her hands are not even, at least if she had removed hands from the pockets and you say maybe she wants to slap the person inside the pockets. And such a kind of provocation, instead what I would wish is that if we can encourage the public to desist from that provocation. Our officers are always peaceful, but sometimes they are provoked to come in and act in such a way. Also through self-defense, which we were talking about.
Right.
Because all of us have lives, we must also make sure that we are safe for us to protect you.
Right.
So I encourage the public to always remain peaceful. For us, we don't have any grudge with anyone. And sometimes even we don't know the people that we are. These officers down there, they don't even the candidates who are aspiring. For them, theirs is to go and protect the lives and the properties. They just wake up in the morning. Sometimes we just tell them, please, your work is to do this, this, and this. And they don't know anyone who is aspiring in that area.
Thank you very much. You are watching the agenda, and we are looking at what the role of the security operatives is, the role of the community, the role of the candidates, those who are contesting for different electoral positions. 0709 602 592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be part of the conversation. Mr. Adepo, objectively speaking, I'd like for you to, that's a key word. As based on what Afande has shared, we can tell from his experience, or from the experience of the police, that at the end of the day, it takes two to tango. You know? How do you assess the conduct of candidates so far? Of course, with their supporters along the way who follow them on the campaign trails.
Yeah, well, thank you so much.
The right and the wrong, so objectively speaking.
Thank you so much, Madam Julie. You know, this show started at exactly 8. And I found as so far used the 24 minutes without.
You did start at exactly 8.
Without any of my submission, but I pray that you also give me time, like the one you have given
I'd love for you to correct the time. It wasn't at exactly 8.
I think it was 5 minutes past 8.
No, it wasn't.
So I found as used almost 20 minutes.
It was not.
So no, the viewers have seen, and I pray that you also give me some time. So
please,
that
speak.
I try to explain.
Yes, please.
I want to start by saying that you know, the word peace is not just a slogan.
Right.
But it's an obligation of the three entities we are talking about in this topic. And the first one is the community, the security, and the candidate. Because we are in the process of an election where these three entities are supposed to play very clear roles as far as an obligation of keeping peace is concerned. It shouldn't just be someone talking about peace, 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 without looking at the really obligation of the different entities when it comes to maintaining this word we are calling peace. I want to start with commenting on what the Afanda said. He has highlighted on a key word called guidelines. Guidelines. It is very critical and it is very key. And I wanted to pose a few questions which maybe Afanda will respond after my 20-minute submission also. Number one is, among the guidelines, are there guidelines that restrict a candidate to reach in a particular area? For example, when my presidential candidate is going to Kazo, is there a guideline in the Electoral Commission that really says, no, when you are coming to Kazo, you are supposed to go in this place, you are supposed to go in this place, but not this place of Kazo? Are there guidelines that really restrict my candidate to come out of the car and wave to the people of Kazo, or Chiruhura, or even where my candidate is going to be today? Are there guidelines that really stop my supporters to come and welcome me in a very cheerful way as of showing love to me as a candidate? Are there guidelines that really block me from using some of the strategic roads that are taking me to the support base where I'm going to be in a district? To me, I feel, even before they have found a response to that, I am very sure those guidelines are not there. So when we talk about the guidelines, we should really mean the real word of the word guidelines as they are written and submitted to us, the candidates, by the Electoral Commission. The police or the security should not frame their own guidelines to follow when we are trying to maintain the other obligation of peace in an election. Of course, when you deviate from the exact guidelines and you formulate your own guidelines, we are going to have a conflict. And this conflict is going to cause a violence, and it is going to really remove the word peace in this process of elections. The police, in my view, is supposed to play around 4 roles in this process of election. Number 1 is to maintain law and order. Maintain law and order before an election, like during this time. Maintain law and order during the election on the 15th of this month and other days of the local government. And also maintain peace after the election, when they have declared the results. You should really make sure that there is peace, because people are going to be shocked, others will win, others. So there is always that temper there. So the police should play that role. The other thing is to protect the electoral materials when they reach at the polling area, ensuring safety of all the participants and remaining non-partisan. But all these 4 roles I've talked about, really police and security, is making us a surprise. It is surprising us to the extent that in Nakawa yesterday, during the presidential campaign of the NUP candidate, we saw the George Floyd happening in Nakawa. I don't know whether you remember in 2020, a scenario where we saw in USA, where we saw George Floyd being stepped on, and he cried over 9 minutes saying that I can't breathe, I can't breathe. We saw it in Nakawa yesterday. We don't know whether security is copying some of these clips they see in the USA to say that let's also practice it and see whether it works. Really, it is a bad scenario. And like I told you, when I'm not in Uganda North, I'm on the trail with my presidential candidate. I tried to lead the presidential trail when he was in Chadondo East here, where Honorable Kantinti is going to be a member of parliament. When we reached the place of Gayaza, we were trying to talk to people. Security came with the OC, they dispersed us. We tried to explain that, no, we are here to communicate to the people as per the guidelines, as per the roadmap that we are supposed to be in Chadondo. Police really did whatever they could do to disperse us. And there was a fracas there, there was a lot of, but why don't you leave a candidate to communicate and continues to another area? So for us, we want to say that irrespective of all those, for us in the camp of the Forum for Democratic Change, we condemn and really pray that security goes back and revise the real guidelines that are supposed to govern this election period. Of course, as a candidate, there are very many things you are supposed to do. Like number 1, for us, these are the things that guides us. We have a clear message that is worth listening by the people. When we are going in a place, we don't take excitement, we don't take jokes, we don't take comedy, we don't take any kind of play when we are going to meet people in a specific district. We have a clear message that we reach and talk to people about what we want to do. We also inform our people about the goodness of our candidature. We inform people about the worth we have as far as the position we are seeking is concerned. So all our candidates, they are supposed to really move in that direction, but the police has consistently violated whatever the guidelines we are supposed to follow in this line. So our message is, because of course Afande was blaming the media. Afande was blaming the media that you capture some scenes, but himself was even again quoting some of those clips. He said, like, did you see someone stoning? Did you see someone doing this? If media was all that too much biased, you wouldn't be seeing those clips, because those are all media. Those are cameras that capture those scenes that you are referring to as violent. And I want to state here clearly that if this impunity continues, what do you expect the people of Uganda to do? If people have seen a Nakawa person being done like the same way they did to George Floyd in USA in 2020, and that thing attracted attention, the whole world, and you are doing it in Nakawa, stepping on someone, after stepping on someone, you come again and kick. Really, don't expect the Ugandans to come down, and these are the things which are going to cause more of the stones to come.
All right.
So we need to really be strategic, know our roles, maintain the pressure, cool down the temper. Even if you are partisan, please try to contain it and try to act professional so that we can maintain democracy in this country without sides as security.
Just to pose this to you and to stay with you still, Mr. Adepo, do you think in one way or the other in all of this mess, there has been a role played by candidates on campaign trails?
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk about our side as candidates of the FDC, because there is a tendency that for us, the FDC...
And the role I'm looking at is,
yes,
as they say, it takes two to tango.
Yes.
What do you think the opposition or your side, as you are planning to speak for it, has done that shouldn't have been done, and maybe it crossed the bar out of a situation and it was out of a circumstance?
No, for us in the opposition, we only have a clear message to tell to Ugandans. And in summary, maybe what I can say is that security is afraid of telling Ugandans the truth. You get? That's why even when we go in a specific area and police notifies that when candidate A, candidate B goes in this point B, is going to have the biggest number of people in the district, they will try to surpass you. When we went in Kamuli, for example, police refused us to be in the center of Kamuli, and they pushed that at the extreme in a place called Namisambi. But regardless of that, our message is very, very, very key. We shall keep going to those remote areas, speak to those people there. They will listen to us, and the message will rotate in the other corners of the district, in other corners of the country. So for us, what we are focusing on, specifically for us as the FDC, is the message we are giving Ugandans. Last time I was here and told you, it is not that our camp is not attacked by the security, but we are guided by the experience of the 20 years we have been in this journey, we have been in this election process. We contain and we manage the abuses, the impunities of police internally, so that we don't cause havoc, we don't cause scaring moments to the next places we are going to. For example, if we are in Chirhwara today, which we are, where we are going to pull crowds, I'm very sure, and police comes and disperses us. When you overcry, it means that our next rally may have a few people that may be than the people we have had here. So we try to contain some of these abuses, these impunities by the police, so that we keep moving and we keep pushing our agenda ahead. The legal team in our camp try to manage that on the other side. But we pray that security really plays their role as far as even a fund can respond. What do you have to talk about such an incident that happened in Nakawa? You talked about the people in Uganda, the chants they were making. If they have seen their own being shot dead, the boy who was shot dead is called Okello. He was buried in a place called Indorwa, just a few meters away from my constituency. Everyone was sure he was shot by police, and you want the people of Uganda to really clap for police? Of course, they will do all those things that you are calling that they're inciting the violence.
All right, let's look at some of the comments coming through, and thereafter, of course, we'll begin to find a way of rolling this carpet out, because the conversation is very, 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 very catching, and time is such an enemy. Moderator, please ask Afande what is special with candidate Kyagulanyi, so that everywhere he goes, the security comes there like the president is a rival of that place. This is Okodel from Serere. Thank you, Okodel, for getting in touch. I'm watching from Arua. I wish to inform Afande that no amount of defense can now convince Ugandans that you police are neutral and you are acting in accordance with the law, given what happened in Gulu. So many other places, yet the target are yet to be targeted. Yet the targeted candidate does the same things other candidates do. Just know that we are all Ugandans and we shall still remain Ugandans even after all of these leaders. God is watching you. This is William Esabu. The police officer talked about treating symptoms instead of the real cause. Does he want us to say the real cause? How can he address the issue of tribalism being applied and practiced like it's normal today in policing, where innocent people are killed, jailed openly, supporting a candidate by men in uniforms? Can he say anything about it? No, but he will blame the victims of the brutality. Can he also tell us police is taking the blame for UPDF brutality? Good morning, UBC and all the viewers. While at Spear Motors yesterday, I witnessed an unforgettable scene. While I don't support that candidate who was passing there yesterday, I feel like the security personnel create an opportunity to have sympathy over this candidate, whereas members of the public can be provocative. I witnessed some security personnel sounding from a premeditated position, making all kinds of allegations and accusations of people wanting to grab the guns from them. Hello, this is Isabidie Sowali from Kayunga. The police is not doing their work. Good morning, UBC. I want to ask the police officer, why do they act as if they don't know the law, reaching extent of beating people for no reason while campaigning for their candidates? I am a patriotic citizen and I'm a youth council, Zombo district. Afande Atwebembere Achilles. These are the comments we have.
How does
and
he feel with all those questions?
Please focus, Mr. Adepo. Afande, what do you have to speak into the comments as they've come so far?
First of all, on the unfortunate incidences that happened, there are some things which we don't intend to do as security sometimes. Like the way the police spokesperson said yesterday, that we shall do investigations on some of the incidences which go beyond that we had not prepared for and we were not intending to do, but they usually happen along the course. So those ones, they are going to be investigations that are going to be held. And most of the times, in case there is anything wrong during our operations, we usually go back and try to review, and we hold accountable some of the officers in case they are there. Right. So that one I should assure the public that we usually do it, though we don't come and publicize here, but we usually do it in case any officer goes beyond where he's supposed to be going. Even I should assure my honorable here that we usually take action on some of the officers who go beyond.
Right.
And what I can also assure the public is that issues of security are always broad. Now, my brother here was asking me about giving them routes on where they should be having their campaigns. Does the police, he asked so many questions, does the police dictate on where you should be going? Then does the police have any role in welcoming the candidate, then blocking strategic roads, then restricting the candidates from waving? Now, what I should assure is that security is something broad. The moment I get to know that if Madame Jury pulls out his head, someone else is likely to harm her, it is my role to make sure Madame Jury does not pull out the head. Sometimes even I may not tell you what is likely to be done to you, but what I do is to protect you, to make sure you don't pull out the head, and you remain safe. Sometimes you can blame me. I think I usually watch in movies, I've not seen it physically, where you find a certain group is protecting a certain candidate. At the end of the day, you even have to push the person you are protecting down, so that the person does not, you may not even tell him what is happening. But the moment you cite something, you can even push the person down,
right, to
make sure you protect the person from going beyond. So security is something which is broad. The routes that we usually give, sometimes we sit with these candidates. We even give reasons as to why. Like, if I give an example of, let's say, Nakawa yesterday, I think he was given a certain pitch in Chinawataka. It's called Wuchupa pitch, or it's called. So, we usually sit down with those candidates, we agree accordingly. We say, instead of using this route, there are some women in Nakawa who have gone to buy their mangoes in the morning.
Right.
The moment you pass there, their businesses are going to stand still for this kind of period. So instead, let's use this route of Chinawataka so that we don't. Yesterday, what I realized is that as we are busy enjoying the processions and other things, some people are too angry with their businesses closing. I saw so many shops which had closed up because of the fear of there is something they call chigari. There are some people who move with those things called the bigari. So because of the fear of the bigari, which may attack their shops, so some people opted to close, which we shouldn't. You know, the number of taxes you are losing in that period is also not good, and that is also one of the sources of insecurity. The moment you are poor, you become insecure. But these people usually see something small, but for us, we see something beyond.
Right.
Then,
maybe Afande can respond to this.
Mr. Adepo, time is really against us, and I would want him to drive the point home.
Just a quick one. Why is it that these restrictions apply on specific candidates? Because we saw, like, for example, in Imbarara, candidate A was blocked from a tear gas, really splashed in Imbarara, but when candidate B went there, there are no businesses being interrupted. Those women you are talking about are okay. So why is it that these restrictions of security apply on specific
Please continue and use these as your parting shots. Time is against us.
Some other candidates, there are no businesses being interrupted. So if there is nothing being interrupted, why would we interrupt you? So, but if our intelligence tells us that the moment you pass here, something is going to be interrupted, we must make sure all of you are safe. That is our role, to make sure all of you are safe. Then someone asked what is special with the candidate Chagulanyi. There is nothing special with him, only that sometimes some people lack control of their supporters. I've even asked some candidates of NUP about their supporters. They even tell you publicly that we cannot control some of those people. And when you find 1,000 people, they come with different intentions. Some come to rape women inside there, some come to steal, some come to snatch phones, some come to do this. So it is very, I'm just giving an example. I'm saying that we have got anyone doing it, like raping, but snatching phones, we have got them. We have got people entering into people's shops.
Have you also got them in the
camp? All right, gentlemen. This conversation definitely has to come to a close. And I'll start with Mr. Adepo. In just a second, 1 or 2 words, your parting shots.
My parting shot is to the community. We are seeing whatever the security is doing, whatever the state is doing during this election. But I want to remind you of your obligation. Number 1 is to participate in this election actively. Number 2 is to demand accountability for all the entities, both be it police, be it the electoral commission. We should not get tired of demanding the rights which they are supposed to do. Number 3, we need to protect peace and promote peace by rejecting any form of violence brought by the police, rejecting any kind of hate that is brought by the police and the security, and by reporting any suspicious or dubious activity that is being brought by the security and maybe other candidates that really try to be very bad in terms of running this. For us as the FDC, I want to remind Ugandans that we have a very clear message we are telling you. Wherever we are reaching, please come. For us, we are going to make sure that these police, we can manage them. We shall contain them and make sure that we deliver our message successfully.
What I can also assure the public is that sometimes let's see through the message that these people tell us. When someone tells you, Gendo behaving, please, you should, and someone says he's spreading a clear message to the public, I urge the candidates to make sure they spread a clear message indeed, but not the message of saying Gedo behaving, then you are saying you are not telling your supporters to do something. The public should remain calm, and we as the police, we are always peaceful, and we do not want to see any one of you hurt. We do not want to see any one of you being treated in a bad way. Right. We urge the public, we urge the candidates, we urge everyone to remain peaceful through this period, as we are all going to remain Ugandans. Also protect yourselves during this festival season that is coming, because a lot of criminality is usually coming.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is ASP Atwebembere Achilles, who is the Regional Community Liaison Officer, Kampala Metropolitan East. And of course with Mr. Francis Adepo, who is the Chairperson, National Youth League of the FDC party. I will close this with this comment about Edward from Lira, who says, we thank the police for always directing the presidential candidates the roads to path, not in the middle of, I think you meant the roads to pass, not in the middle of the roads of town, because jam hinders transport. Good morning, Uganda. Up next is JMU Sports with Ruben.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
These elections matter, and so does how you hear about them. That's why I'm here every night on UBC News Tonight to give you the whole picture and not just the headlines. We report with context, with care, and with commitment, because you deserve the truth. Calmly delivered, clearly explained.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.